one that was being hyped and had a bet on the line, and then bet being a dark chocolate bar. And the winner of that is the New York Potato Skins and Brian Michelle. They defeat the Rochester Revenge 131.24 to 117.04. Tom Brady, all right, 12 points, could be a lot better. Jonathan Taylor, 19. We're so used to that 50-point game last week that 19 seems just not good enough. But Joe Mixon is pretty good. 32 points on the day. And on the other side, Rochester Revenge could have had Kirk Cousins in his starting lineup, but he declined to do so, releasing him, puts in Cam Newton. And Cam Newton is back on the Panthers bench. 8 points on the day. See you bye. Stephon Diggs, 20 points. Nick Folk, 21 points. New England defense, 14. Consistency from the New England defense and Nick Folk. Charlotte Wu Outlaws defeat the New England Nexus 133.9 to 61.6. Yeah. Oh, wow. For my side, Joe Burrow, 17 points. Had a very, very decent day, I would say. Terry McLaurin, only 9 points. Baltimore's defense, 11 points. Everyone else, single digits. Yeah. On the other side, Josh Allen, 28 points on the day. Cooper Kupp, 18. Antonio Gibson, finally doing something really well, 23.6 points on the day. And T. Higgins, really good, 23.4 points on the day. Next matchup, the longest standing rivalry in the XFFL. The Alpine Xtreme lose to the Cleveland Clowns 100.82 to 94 on the dot. Let's look at the stats. Lamar Jackson, 13 points, not good. Adam Thielen, 23 points, very good. His running backs, Aaron Jones, 2.3. Tony Jones, 2.7. The other side, Taylor Heineke getting the start for the Cleveland Clowns has been through kind of a rotation of quarterbacks because Kyler Murray just doesn't want to play, or he was on a bye. 12.2, he wasn't the reason. Hunter Renfrow, kind of the reason, 21 points on the day. And Deebo Samuel, 20.8 points. Comes at a cost, though. He'll be out 1 to 2 weeks with an injury. Next matchup, number 1 seed defeats now the number 10 seed. North Carolina Carpetbaggers take down the Malone Mutiny, 127.78 to 96.26. Aaron Rodgers, 26 points. Very good. Chris Godwin, Jamar Chase, and Najee Harris didn't do a lot, but you didn't need to because your good old friend and pal, Uncle Lenny, did it all for you. 44.1 points on the day. Incredible. Incredible. You're welcome. Traded him away. On the other side, Jalen Hurts is hurt and only threw 3 interceptions? Yeah. 9 points in the day. Jalen Waddle, 28 points, looking like a possible keeper for the Malone Mutiny. Christian McCaffrey, dunzo though. So does that impact Malone Mutiny's chances of making the playoffs? Absolutely. Does the Malone Mutiny want to make the playoffs? I don't know. Gotta ask him. Chris, you want to make the playoffs? And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, is the final matchup from Week 12. The Riverhead Blue Waves roll on past the Big Ben Blackbeards, 145.58 to 105.80. Tail of the tape, Russell Wilson. Last, under a minute touchdown, got him 19.4 points on the day. If it wasn't for that, probably isn't doing too much. Devontae Adams, 18. Keenan Allen, 15. Dalvin Cook, 14. And now it's questionable with the separated shoulder, I believe. Who knows? I think he'll be missing at least a couple of games. Josh Jacobs, 19. Gronk, 19. And a Thanksgiving pickup of Cedric Wilson, 17. Every single one of his players, including the defense and including his kicker, all double digits. It's a rare thing to see. On the other side, Dak Prescott tried to do his best, 25 points. Zeke, 16. Cordell, Do-It-All Patterson, or Scordero, okay, NFL Network, 27.5 points. Everyone else is kind of just a miss. So with that being said, we got to get to our guest. He scored the most points this week and hasn't been on the show since episode 5 of the XFFL Show. Spoiler alert, this is episode number 15. So it's been 10 episodes since we've seen this man talk about his team, very highly of his team. But where does it stand now? I'm going to send it over to you, the head coach, the captain, and the owner of the Riverhead Blue Waves, Anthony Carragher.
Yes, my second appearance here on this show, and Josh, I have to tell you, I enjoy tuning in every single week. I enjoy a breakdown. I enjoy everything about this show. I enjoy the competition. I enjoy the 20 minutes of Skipper's breakdown, but let me digress. The reason why I'm on this show is because I won again. That makes 2 wins in a row. 2 wins in a row. You call that a winning streak. Love to see it. So let's talk about why I won. Well, I won because Cedric Wilson, I think that's his name. Who knows who he is? But all I knew is CeeDee Lamb wasn't playing and Amari Cooper's not playing. So someone has to catch the ball for Dallas, and he called the ball for 17 points. And then Gronk just went off for 19 points, and Dalvin Cook went off, but we'll get to that in a second because that hurts. Josh Jacobs looking like a great trade. But yeah, overall, good team win. Very happy with everyone. And we continue to make a push towards the playoffs. But this week will be a little rough. Dalvin Cook is out with a shoulder injury, but not out for the season. Love that. So hopefully he's able to come back right in time for playoffs. Also, Davante Adams has a bye this week. That's a little tricky. So in a little bit of a need for some help here. Maybe dabble in the waiver wire. Cedric Wilson's not going to do anything again. With Amari Cooper coming back and Michael Gallup. So probably not going to look at him. Maybe have to pray Antonio Brown's healthy and do 2 tight ends with maybe Knox or Gronk and Ertz or whoever. But hopefully maybe I hit another waiver wire hit. That'll be a hope. But overall, we're confident. We're very confident in how the team's playing right now. So overall, we're going to hope and pray that we're able to move forward and take down the Charlotte Woo Outlaws. So let's talk about the Charlotte Woo Outlaws for a second. Josh, you always ask for, some trash talk. So let's talk. Let's talk a little bit. A few weeks ago, you had the owner of the Nexus on here call me out for a 4-game losing streak at the time that went to a 6-game losing streak. And what I said, that I was going to steamroll the competition and make my way to the championship. But let's talk about what happened this whole season. Russell Wilson, injury. Derrick Henry, injury. Dalvin Cook now, injury. Davante Adams, COVID. Gronk, back. Antonio Brown hasn't played since week 6. Mike Davis is a bust. Cortland Sutton hasn't been doing anything. But here I am at 5-7 and in a playoff spot. So Mike, I turn my attention to you now. You have all the pressure in the world, buddy. All the pressure. If you win, great. You did what you had to do. You took the Riverhead Blue Waves and you might have knocked them out of the playoffs. And the whole league rejoices because Anthony's not in the playoffs. But what if you lose? What if? What if you lose with Davante Adams on a bye here, Dalvin Cook not playing, and I have to go with Josh Jacobs and Myles Gaskin? What if you lose? Well, if you lose, then I win, and not only do I secure myself in a playoff spot, for the most part, because next week I play the Nexus, who are looking to lose. So I secure myself in a playoff spot. You go down more in the rankings to probably last. I own your third round pick. Amari Cooper might not play this week because he's still dealing with the sniffles. So you traded me Josh Jacobs for 1 week of Amari Cooper? And I have your third round pick? And the league is looking at you, Mike. Looking at you. Get the job done. You have all the pressure in the world. Good luck to you. Otherwise, I'll just be here going, woo, I'm in the playoffs. But to the rest of you, good luck. Playoffs are right around the corner. And hope to see you all real soon in the playoffs. Peace. Hashtag roll waves.
Well, thank you, Anthony, for that lovely video you sent to the XFFL show. And let's kind of move on and talk about your game this week. He's going up against Mike Warren in the Charlotte Woo Outlaws. Kind of an interesting, kind of depends on who plays and who doesn't play. For the Riverhead Blue Wave side, Russell Wilson, the thing is his last year in Seattle, so he's probably going to try to go out on top. Keenan Allen, Josh Jacobs, Myles Gaskin. There's no Dalvin Cook most likely, so you're going to need those two to step up. At the moment, we could see Rob Gronkowski and Zach Ertz both being played at the same time. There's also that question, is Antonio Brown healthy? Will he play? We'll see. On the other side, instead of Josh Allen this week, it'll be Matthew Stafford under center for the Woo Outlaws. Smart play going up against Jacksonville. Cooper Kupp also going up against Jacksonville. Another question mark, as we said before, Amari Cooper. He should return, but everyone's getting COVID down there in Dallas, including their head coach, Mike McCarthy. So it's possible he doesn't play, but I still think he'll play. Antonio Gibson, looking good. Saquon Barkley versus Miami. It should be good, but Barkley's been kind of a disappointment, even though injuries have plagued him throughout. T. Higgins versus the Chargers. I'm going with the Woo Outlaws. I love this matchup. Rams versus Jacksonville. He just happens to have two Rams, and it just happens to be the guy throwing the ball and the guy catching the ball. So going with the Woo Outlaws in the Week 13 matchup. Next on the list, why not? The New York Potato Skins versus me, the New England Nexus. On Brian's side of things, Tom Brady versus Atlanta. I would say this should be a cakewalk, but Atlanta versus the Bucs with Tom Brady has always kind of been a curveball. It's either an extreme route from Tampa Bay or it's down to the wire. So anything's possible, especially with this Tampa Bay team that's kind of been up and down all year long. Deontay Johnson versus Baltimore. Marquise Hollywood Brown versus Pittsburgh. Wide receiver versus wide receiver matchup on his own roster. Jonathan Taylor versus Houston. Star that fireworks. Love it. Joe Mixon versus Chargers. On the other side, Joe Burrow. Should be fine. Terry McLaurin. Should be fine. Dallas Goedert versus Jets. I do like that. But again, who knows? And then Rashad Bateman versus Pittsburgh. Bateman's kind of been a sneaky play here and there. Last couple of weeks haven't been so good, but kind of started turning things from week 7, week 9, week 10. So who knows? But definitely giving the edge to the Potato Skins in this one. Clearly, I'm looking to lose. So if I win somehow, I win somehow. But that's not the goal. On to our next matchup, the Battle of Texas Dominance. Alpine Xtreme, Big Ben Blackbeards. Let's look at this one, folks. You already know the Cowboy Trio, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott. Also has Cordell Patterson, who literally does everything for the Atlanta Falcons. On the other side, Lamar Jackson versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense looked absolutely horrible. Injuries? Yes. Effort? Also not there for some reason. Adam Thielen versus Detroit. Love it. Mike Evans versus Atlanta. Also, I like that too. He usually has good games against Atlanta, and it's in Atlanta, so even more of a reason. But will Alvin Kamara finally play? says he's trending in the right direction, but who knows at this point. I'm going with kind of the sure thing. I'm going with the Big Ben Blackbeards. I like the Cowboy Trio. Is it on um a short week? Technically, because you're playing against the Saints. Um, but I don't know. I think that I think they got it. I think they'll be fine. I mean, heartbreaking loss the previous week versus the Raiders. Um, everybody's moving, LA, Vegas, whatever. But I'll take the Big Ben Blackbeards in this one. On to our next matchup. Cleveland Clowns, Malone Mutiny. Will Kyler Murray play? Who knows? Also a situation where they're trending in the right direction. He's missed week 9, week 10, week 11, and bye in week 12. If you're not healthy in 4 weeks' time, just say you're done. Just say you're done. Because at this point, like, he easily could have had an MVP season. 17 touchdowns, 7 picks, over 2,000 yards throwing. But this whole, like, I don't know if we're going to play. And then randomly, DeAndre Hopkins like, well, he's not playing. I'm not playing either. So, whole lot of BS there, in my opinion, on the matter. For everyone else, for the Cleveland Clowns, Hunter Renfrow versus Washington. Washington has pretty good defense. Tyreek Hill versus Denver also has a sneaky good defense as well. And Hunter Henry versus Buffalo. They have a sneaky good defense, but they're out with Tre'Davious White. So maybe Hunter Henry can expose that defense. On the other side, Jalen Hurts, will you play? Another questionable person, but he's playing the Jets, so should have a huge game. Also thought he was going to have a huge game against the Giants, but he got hurt, so who knows? Jalen Waddle versus the Giants. I do like that. Odell Beckham versus Jacksonville. That's another star fireworks kind of ordeal. And then George Kittle versus Seattle. Yeah, Seattle's been looking a little weak as of late, actually the whole season. And San Francisco is definitely on the trend upwards. If Kyler Murray plays, I'm taking the Cleveland Clowns. But if Kyler Murray doesn't play, I'm going to take the Malone Mutiny. So this is one of those games where it's kind of dependent on if one player plays. Kyler Murray plays, Cleveland Clowns 100%. If Kyler Murray doesn't play, 65-70% Malone Mutiny. So, yeah. Anyway, and moving on to, I believe this is the final game. It is the final game. North Carolina Carpetbaggers versus the Rochester Revenge. Let's look at this. Patrick Mahomes versus Denver. Should be good, but who knows what Patrick Mahomes we're going to get. Stephon Diggs versus New England. New England's defense is pretty good. Justin Jefferson versus Detroit. There's another star fireworks, all that ordeal. And then a surprise, not for me, because I called it in the beginning of the year. Breakout bench player is now a starter, James Conner. I believe he has the most rushing touchdowns this year. It's at 12. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Or maybe it's total touchdowns. One of the two. Doing a fantastic job. Doing a fantastic job for the Rochester Revenge. On the other side of things, Aaron Rodgers is on a bye. Is he going to go with Carson Wentz? Personally, I would against Houston's defense. But who knows? Maybe there going to be a last-minute substitution like Scott did last week. Chris Godwin versus Atlanta. That should be good as well. Jamar Chase, Austin Eckler versus Cincinnati and LA. That's a maybe they'll do great and maybe they'll just be mediocre. But this man has held on with a firm grasp to this player, Alexander Madison. Zach is just holding every single running back possible on this team. Austin Eckler, Alexander Madison, Leonard Fournette, Najee Harris, A.J. Dillon, Elijah Mitchell. And all these bench guys who are second stringers are now playing and doing fantastic. So I see a very good game from Alexander Mattison if indeed Dalvin Cook doesn't play, which he shouldn't play. When it comes down to it, I'm picking the North Carolina Carpetbaggers. They're winners of 5 straight. They're 10-2 for a reason, folks. It's no secret. The team's good. The only question is Carson Wentz going to play to what level exactly? So we'll have to wait and see and kind of go from there. Again, 2 weeks left. This week, next week, and after that, 4 teams will be eliminated. And with that caveat, once you are eliminated, your team is locked, which means you can't make roster moves and you can't be moving people around. So you can't be picking up anybody either. This way, the players that are in the playoffs are able to have access to everyone on the waiver wires. I mean, I don't think you'd be picking up, unless you're really desperate, picking up someone off of waivers for possibly a spot in, because not knowing how this continuous pandemic is going to just affect who or what team. But anyway, thank you for tuning in for another fantastic episode of the XFFL Show. We'll see you next week to preview the final week of the regular season. So best of luck to every single one of you, and enjoy your week.